Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. I just ran out of the house as fast as I could to get to the closest spot where I can bass fish because we are under a high percentage of rain. It could come down any second. At the moment, it is currently a little bit over 80% chance of rain. Could not, though. But given the time of the afternoon, we're not super close to sunset. The pressure is dropping for sure because of this. The weather is changing. A lot of people, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, would say, oh, fishing is best after the rain. That is total BS. It's before the rain when you want to get out. And that's what we're doing. Let's see if we can make something happen. Come on. So the wind is picking up a little bit here and there, but where we're at currently, it's blocking a lot of that wind. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish weightless because I can get away with it here. We're going to put on a watermelon red crack and crawl. It's what I've been digging lately. It's been working. I've only been here a short amount of time doing my intro, getting these things together, and I'm seeing feeding. There's a lot of activity out there. It's not all bass. Water temps are still up in this area, so we have a lot of gar activity. Mostly spotted gar is what is in this area, spotted and short nose. There's a lot of bait activity too. I see a lot of shad. I've seen feeding even in here where we undoubtedly have a pretty high water temperature because this is all concrete, right? Throw that over towards that ambush point. I'm not going to spend the whole time here. I'm not going to just sit here and wait for the rain to come. We'll give this a little bit, trying different likely spots, and then move on. We might encounter a bass. It might be good, but one thing you got to bear in mind, this is all man-made. This is actually a drainage canal. It's one of the few drainage canals down here that has a very natural setting. It's got a lot of natural habitat about it, right? That's because it's a very old drainage canal, and there are huge portions of it that go through a wild area, right? We're not on any of those portions, but still, even though this still looks very natural, right? But it's not. So since it's a drainage canal, it is subject to a lot of things. We'll try this rock line. A lot of people down here are stuck fishing drainage canals like this. That's mostly what they do. I do that as well down here because it's what's available, right? But if you've never fished anything else, you might not really understand what is going on here. Drainage canals are not necessarily conducive to good fishing because they don't flow naturally, right? There's not a lot of natural flow down here. We're below sea level. The reason why you see some natural flow in some places is because it's tidal. It's the tide making it flow, or it's the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River can flow like crazy even though it's below sea level. It's just got all that momentum carrying it forth from up north. But this, if they didn't use mechanics, this would not flow. So when they turn the mechanics on and this starts to flow, It doesn't make for good fishing. It discombobulates everything, and it can be worthless for fishing after that for many, many days. And because this drains a sizable and growing municipality, this water undoubtedly has a presence in it of stuff we really don't want to know about, right? Because it drains a urban bourbon area. Okay. Definitely a lot of activity over there in that yard. Those people put out a cracked corn for the Mexican squealers, the Mexican whistlers, but it attracts pigeons as well. There's like about 100 pigeons eating cracked corn over there. Well, nothing was happening at that spot, and my intention is to cruise well down the road, but now it's sprinkling. Let's keep with that intention and come what may. It's still raining, sprinkling. This can be a good spot, but obviously it's complicated. I gave up pretty quick on that spot. That bird is still upset that I walked over there. It's still squawking at me. This feels like walking into a totally different world. Can you see the intensity of the rain strengthening? Eventually, they're likely to start pumping. Once they start pumping, this is going to have a good flow, a current, right? And I've said over the years many times when I'm talking about a place like this, that once they start pumping, that's it for the fishing. Your bite, your activity is going to go way down. And people that live in other places always want to disagree with me, because they're always like, oh, moving water makes the fishing better. In a natural environment, in a natural setting, yes, where water moves naturally, the fishing is naturally good. But this water doesn't move naturally. It doesn't move to its own accord. The only way for it to move to its own accord is when it's epically flooding. And we want to avoid an epic flood. So a lot of money is spent to pump this water because we're below sea level. A lot of this area is, right? And the reason why it still exists is because of pumping. And the reason why a lot of land is lost every day on the Louisiana coast is because of these levees and all the cuts, and yeah, because the river can't replenish the land anymore. So for this place to exist, you have to pump. And when you pump, this drainage canal, you know, it's sucking water out from under the town. You think about all the sediment. All of a sudden this drainage canal becomes extremely dirty. All the sediment is disturbed and starts flowing. And it gets really, really dirty, but there's a lot of things in that sediment that people just don't want to talk about, right? Always, you know, not with everybody, but with a lot of people, the question always comes up, how healthy is it to eat the fish out of here? Might be healthier to eat those cows. You got to take in, you know, the fact that they spray along here, just this public stretch that I'm fishing. They don't tend to go off into the wild bits of this drainage canal, but they do spray the margins once, twice a year to kill the weeds. And then there's all kinds of other things that get in this water because it drains the municipality. An urban bourbon area, and it drains a military base. Biggest reason why this canal is the size it is and goes the length that it does is because it was dug for the base primarily. So yes, moving water is usually good, but not in this case because it's not naturally moving. And when it moves, it's disturbing a lot of stuff. And when they're pumping this water out, they're not necessarily pumping the sediment out. So once in a while, they have to do something to get the silt out, the built up sediment. That doesn't happen like you would think. It doesn't happen every year. They're not out here dredging this every year. This rain is really starting to come down. Let's get back up on top of the bridge. I talk about this subject quite a bit in my normal life, not just when I'm filming. I'm talking about it with other fishermen. And I've heard people want to debate me with this. Well, lakes, man-made lakes, why are they so good to fish? Those are man-made. Well, I would assume you're talking about lakes above sea level, right? Yeah, well, they usually it's usually like a natural creek that forms the lake once they build the dam, right? And it's above sea level, so there's natural flow. When the lake fills up, say like in East Texas, we have all these county lakes that have just the crude earthen dams. I call them crude, but they're actually really good. But they are earthen dams, and typically there's a shaft in the lake near the dam, a vertical shaft. When the lake comes to a certain level, it starts to cascade into that shaft, goes straight down. Some of them are at an angle, some are vertical. And then it goes into a canal sort of ditch, like it's usually like a box canal culvert thing, and it leads to the back of the dam, and then that looks like a pillbox at the bottom of a hill. It's more of a natural flow. It's not being forced out by mechanics. It tends to be cleaner, right? In most cases. So I'm not making a case where I'm saying man-made things are bad fishing things, because there are a lot of lakes that are man-made that are actually really good for fishing. But this is different. This is not a lake. Someone may make the argument that it very much is a lake, because you could see the pumping stations as dams, but we're below sea level. We're talking about stuff below sea level. Drainage canals. There's a different dynamic to them compared to like a lake where you dammed creeks that were already there, natural creeks. This is not a natural drainage canal. They do have bayous down here that they turned into drainage canals, or they're a part of the drainage system. There are people who call this a bayou, Bayou Berryer, but it is in fact man-made. It can have good fishing. The fishing can be good here, but it has its limits. When we talk about the good fishing here, there's limits to that. There are places that have the same species and it's much better because there's a higher quality of health to it. This has a lower quality of health, lower quality of life because of what it is. It's a drainage canal. It drains a town and a base. So it doesn't have the highest quality of health when it comes to fish and when it comes to aquatic environment. But it does have some quality. But I don't think we're going to find that quality today. Looks like a slick on the water, right? That could be from an iron oxidizing bacteria. That bacteria makes a slick. Let's see, this has more of a swirl to it. So that could be from something else. Yeah, the promise of finding quality fishing this afternoon on this canal, I think is done. They might be pumping because there's a slight flow, but it's going to, yeah, they're going to be pumping pretty soon if this rain keeps like it is. So I'm going to release this video. I know there's no fish in it, but this is a conversation that needs to be had. There are always people asking me why is the fishing so bad on this particular stretch where you see me at. This is easily accessible to the public. Some people think it's angler pressure. There's absolutely no one else fishing right through here. I can see all the way down there, and I just came from up there. Maybe someone's up there, but come on, it's not angler pressure. There's not that many people that fish this. You know, some people will come here and look at the power line coming parallel on the bridge and see all that stuff hanging off it and think, oh yeah, lots of people fish it. Nah, that's just accumulated over time. The reason why this is so piss poor at times is because this is the stretch in between the two biggest pumping stations, and then in the middle of them you have the sub pumping station where we started this video that helps draw water out from under Belle Chase. It's more of a, like the title says, natural flow versus man-made flow. This is a drainage canal. It's going to be precocious, mediocre. It's going to hinge on whether they're pumping or not. And if they've been pumping every day, you know, that affects the fishing because it just tears up the environment for the fish. It messes up everything by disturbing the sediment. The furthest you are on a canal from a pumping station, the better the fishing is likely to be, because that's what I've found. I know that's anecdotal, but that is my experience. I can get really far off into where I feel like I'm in the country on this drainage canal and find a higher quality of fishing than down here. But I do, and I can catch fish down here. It's just not that great. And I think those are the reasons. We're in between pumping stations, and we're really close to where it all comes out from the town. So this water's health quality is low. The further you are from this area, the better it is, the better the quality is going to be, because it's just further from this area. That's what it is. It's a pumping thing. It's a drainage canal thing. Yeah. If it was a natural setting, a natural body of water, we'd be having a different conversation here. But it is what it is, and that's why it sucks. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching. Oh, one more thing. There seems to be quite a few subscribers or viewers that are confused about how I do things. They see all these videos they think are just members only, and yes, this is how it works. I'm well ahead of myself right now. I could be in another state, and I likely am, or maybe I'm not, but you see me standing here. So I make videos, I get ahead of myself, I schedule them to go public. But in the meantime, before they go public on that day and time I decided for them to go public, they're available to be watched by members. It's a members perk. You get to watch these videos before they go public. So there's like maybe 2 videos I've made that are like super short that are members only. I tend to not make a lot of members only videos. So to the people who think those are only member only videos, you're incorrect. If you just have some patience, you will see them. If you want to become a member, you can see them that way too. I thank you if you want to become a member, but you don't have to become a member. All you have to do is watch the video. You could become a subscriber. That's free. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.